Hey DM, thanks for running that 16-year-long campaign. I thought as thanks that I could, you know, run a little something for you. So I've prepared a 45-minute one-shot. Yes, finally, I've not been able to play D&D in years as a player. Who do I choose? I've got so many character sheets and ideas. Maybe I'll be Torg'wa, the Tortle Wanderer with a really devastating and mysterious backstory, or yeah, well, about that, I've actually got four pre-made character sheets that you can choose from, but everyone else already chose theirs. So you're left with uh, David, the human fighter. Thank you. In my Dungeons and Dragons group, I have the privilege of being the forever DM. NPC characters, the story, rulings, giving opportunities for exciting moments and arcs are what I play D&D for. But I can't deny that getting to make really interesting characters using the various source books is really, really exciting. And if I've got nothing else to do with my prep time, then I quite often make player characters to put into my folder that's currently overflowing with different choices. And on the odd occasion, I throw them into my campaigns and actually get to use and play with them myself. So here's three of my favourite characters that I've made over my years for you to use or to inspire your next D&D character. You walk alone through an isolated woods. The remainder of your small militia hasn't returned from tonight's hunt for the food that you were going to eat. From the mangrove trees that blot out the sun, you can see that the vines have overgrown far beyond what they were previously. In the foliaceous mist, you see a hunched, tortoise-shelled figure leaning over a gnarled staff, and above them, wrapped in the vines, are your former friends and allies. Torg'wa is a circle of the shepherd druid, with a bad case of self-imposed amnesia. He wanders the land in search of his current purpose and his forgotten past, hence the translation of his name, the Wanderer. While he's now unaware of this, in his past life he was the patriarch of a vicious criminal syndicate, making his enormous wealth off of the backs of those that he manipulated, intimidated, blackmailed, and murdered. One fateful night he was plagued with night terrors, a vision of the eternal hells, and in it his karmic dice rolled snake eyes and Orcus laughed at him. When he woke he realized he would be damned to the nine hells if he wasn't to change his ways and try and do some good and erase the misdeeds that he had done in his life so far. He sought out his alchemist and commissioned a potion of amnesia, and in a final act of cowardice, he took it in a solitary forest, once again shirking responsibility, and instead placing it upon the shoulders of another. Only this time, it was actually his future self. Torg'wa awoke without a penny to his name or any memory of his past life. The only thing on his person was a single note reading, "You chose to forget. You are to care for the natural world, or be damned for eternity. Save it to save yourself." And so Torg'wa moved, seeking out foulness in the natural world and stamping it out with ruthlessness. Through his travels, he began to hone his natural magic, becoming one with the creatures and fauna and flora around the natural world. And now he seeks only to fulfill his purpose from that note and to begin to uncover his mysterious past. Torg'wa, or a character inspired by him, is best when done in conjunction with your DM. If you make the character as they are currently, and trust your DM to make them as they were in the past, without your knowledge, then you can get to uncover their past alongside the character, and your reactions to everything that unfolds will be far more genuine and will take you by surprise as well. And then you get to decide in that moment what direction they take when faced with their previous misdeeds, and once they realise who they once were. A cloaked figure sits in the corner of the bar, alone. No drink on their table, but they deftly handle a wicked blade that seemingly passes through their hands as they do so. A simple trick of the eye. With a quick shake of her head, the bartender tells you not to approach that area, to leave well alone. Small swarms of flying insects, mosquitoes and flies hover around the creature, passing in through the sleeves of their cloak, and as you peer closer, you catch a glance of their face, or where it should be, a writhing mass of insects pulled into the vague visage of a humanoid face. Typically, the Swarmkeeper Ranger is a character who has taken control of a swarm of small fey creatures, typically insects, but someone in my game used snakes and people use rats and frogs and the like. This character requires a little bit of lenient rule of cool usage from your DM, so make sure to butter them up and emphasize that it's just a cosmetic change, one for the backstory, than something that's going to make you overpowered. and then slam down the character sheet on their table. The swarm takes a twist on the traditional swarmkeeper archetype. Instead of controlling a swarm, you are the swarm, a mass of hive-minded insects that has come together to take on a more whole form, being able to do everything that a typical humanoid can do and oh so much more, taking parts of their own hive, their own collective to use the various abilities of the subclass. For the backstory, the insects had a colony sequestered away in the rafters of a powerful wizard's tower. One day there was an unfortunate mishap. A necrotic blast left the wizard a fine red mist that coated the walls, ceiling, and floor of his study. The ritual was a failure. His wife was still dead, and now so was he. But where magic takes away, it also gives, and this was a blessing for the creatures up in the ceiling. Protected from the majority of the necrotic blast, the creatures were imbued with magica, the arcane, and were granted a collective, intelligent consciousness. The whole is definitely greater than the sum of its parts with the swarm. Only a fraction of you guys watching the video are actually subscribed, so if you enjoy my content, please subscribe and smash the notification bell so that you get told when I upload videos. And leave a like and a comment, anything you can think of, to really help boost me in the algorithm. Thank you. We've all seen the memes. Don't lie to me or to yourself. Backstories and dead parents go together like bread and butter, or more appropriately, like Batman and Robin. And while I love a dead parent's backstory and revenge mission as much as the next guy, I mean, the classics are a classic for a reason, hey? Sometimes it's fun to spin the tropes on their head and see what differs in the story and dynamics. So, how about this? A rogue, who was part of a rich, noble house, trained from birth and bound by blood to take on the matriarchal role of the family as part of the aristocratic upper class, the bourgeoisie. Barely having any contact with her own mother and father, she was trained in the arts of navigating political structures by her nanny and tutors. Eventually, enough is enough. She was bound for more than this. You can only keep someone locked in the chains and cages of tradition for so long. She longed for adventure, for danger, for something different, for found family if she couldn't have one of her own with her parents. So in the dead of night she stole away, taking nothing but the clothes on her back and the sentiment of an ornate knife that she took from above the mantelpiece. A sheltered rogue, naturally gifted in the arts of thievery and dexterity, giving her a propensity for stealth and murder, combined with carrying herself with the charisma and charm of someone trained in the arts of conversation. But what of her noble name and the life that she has since chosen to take? Well, the eventual family reunion will be something for everyone to behold. If you thought that spending Christmas at the in-laws was something that was challenging to navigate, wait until you see this. If you made it this far in the video, comment down below, let me know your current character in D&D. It's time to show off all the things that we've made. Leave a like if you enjoyed, share with your friends that might need that extra little push to get their next character ready, and subscribe for more, and check out one of my other videos if you enjoyed. See ya.